Welcome to the second video of Ilada's visit to Nanda Kaul. So as we have heard in the previous video how Raka and Ilada's were bored by Raka and Nanda Kaul were bored by Ilada's revival of the past. However, she continued talking about her tragic story, her tragic family story, how their family's fortune was divided among the three brothers. These brothers are selfish, they were irresponsible brothers, and not a penny was given to two disabled but hardworking sisters, Arima and Iladas. They were not given any penny. And the sons had been sent to foreign universities, and where they are supposed to study, they squander their money and they drunk themselves ill. So when their father died, even when their father died, they didn't even come to attend the funeral. And their mother, she was lying, rotting in bed with a broken hip, and she eventually died. So because of the irresponsible lifestyles of their brothers, the two sisters, Rima and Iladas, they have to line up for buses and they had to spend their days hunting for jobs to earn their daily bread and butter. Iladas got a job in the Home Science College with the help of Nanda's previous husband, Vice Chancellor, but she could not continue the job after the death of Nanda Kaul's husband, Vice Chancellor. And Rima, her sister, used to work to teach piano lesson, but later on, to make matters worse, she had a cataract, some eye disease, cataract, and so since they have no other choice, they both asked for help to Mrs. Wright, the former governess. She is their one-time governess, and she was almost a nanny to them. And she spared a bed in a corner of her flat in Calcutta for Rima. And Iladas has to, work hard and send money to Rima. And Iladas, in a sense, was a Christian in the true sense, She was a good Christian, and she was deeply concerned by the woes and sufferings of the people of the villages for whom she was working as, welfare officer. Okay, let's say welfare officer. Now, this is the work she had when Vice Chancellor, that is the husband of Nanda Kaul, passed away, since she could not continue to work as work her job in Home Science College after the death of Nanda Kaul's husband. She managed to work as a welfare officer in one villages, and she was, deeply hurt by the poverty, the illiteracy of the villages, and the Orthodox priest who was misguiding the people in several ways. And so she keeps talking about her family condition, the tragic life that she is having, and deep in her heart, she really wished Nanda Kaul will invite her to stay there, to live with her. But Nanda Kaul did not, make such suggestion also, because as we have known, she wants, a solitude life. She wants to lead an isolated life away from the burdens and the problems of the previous life which she has had. So above anything else, she wants solitude. She wants to stay in a tranquil area of Carignano, away from all the responsible life, and she no longer wants to indulge in such life. So that is why she has not invited Iladas to stay with her also. So after having spent some time with her friend Nanda Kaul, Iladas left the house. of Nandakal. And she went to the bazaar and came to the grain seller. And the grain seller advised her not to loiter alone at night in the bazaar, because that Prit Singh, oh sorry, knew that Prit Singh. We have one character, okay, Prit Singh. So he is the father of a minor daughter whom he's trying to, whom he's trying to marry her to one rich landowner. Excuse me. So the great grain seller, okay, the grain seller knew very well that preaching in that village was furious against her because Iladas, she was trying to stop the marriage of the minor daughter of preaching with the rich landowner, because she could not stand against such orthodox belief system or the selfish conducts of the father. So when she go home, Ilidas quickened her steps towards her home, and then after having walked a long way, she was stopping to catch her breath, and at that time she saw, a very black figure emerging out of the dark, and that figure was no one else but Preet Singh himself. And he pinned her down and he grabbed her in her throat, and he, knocked her down to the dust, and he raped her and crushed her to death. So it was the reward. That is the reward Ilat does got from the man from the man whose daughter she was trying to save from the old landowner. And soon after, the Nandakal got a call from the PS Sukla, who is the police police officer in charge of Gorkhal Thana, and he broke the news that Miss Ilada's welfare officer of the Gorkhal division had been raped and murdered, and Nandakal was called to. She was asked to go to the Thana to identify the body. And this news shocked her so much that she didn't even have the strength to hold the telephone long enough. She didn't want to, listen on to what the police has to tell her. And the police officer informed her that her body was found on the path to the village Dimarpur of the villages. Okay, Dimarpur by the villages. So on her way to the village Dimarpur, her body was found by the villagers, and the news shocked her so much that she find it very difficult to believe the news. She stopped listening. And after hearing such tragic incident of her friend, she came to feel that everything in the world was false and fake, that everything she has ever told Raka was a lie, that her father had never been to Tibet, that he had bought the little Buddha from a traveling peddler, that her husband had never treated her like a queen, even though she is the wife of a vice chancellor in a university, but that he had kept her quiet while he had an affair with Miss David, the mathematics mistress, whom he had not married because she was a Christian but loved her, and she felt there was nothing noble in anybody, including her father and her husband, whom she truly loved. So that's how the story of Nandakal and Iladas in Fire on the Mountain comes to an end.